It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and of course, it's the Bumper Breakfast Show. So I'd like to welcome you to the Bumper Breakfast Show this morning. Today we have two gentlemen seated here on the table and ready to discuss, the trending issues in Nigeria. Well, that's what we do on this program. So yes, welcome to the Bumper Breakfast Show. I'd like to let you know that Akin Fatunke is here. Akin Fatunke, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Good morning, Nigerians. Always a pleasure to be here.
Okay, Stanley is also here, and I heard Akin Fatunke and Stanley discussing, a sports, a game that we're supposed to have. Nigeria is supposed to play tonight, and someone saying, "Oh, I'm not going to watch that game." I know that the game can either make or mar us. However, I don't know what these boys will do. Some people don't want to have hypertension, but coming from Stanley, I'm kind of worried what exactly is going on. Stanley never talks like that when it comes to anything sports, talk less of football. Stanley, is there an issue really?
Well, there was an issue that was not addressed. There might be another issue today if we don't do well, and it's because we've not really done enough. And it's sad that we punched and pushed ourselves into a very, very tight corner. We had our fate in our hands. We had every advantage to live well, talking about as far as the table is concerned. But I don't know, one or two reasons, the boys fluffed the opportunity, and now we are walking on a very, very, very tight rope. But then, the God of miracle, like they say, miracle no retire Jesus. But then you need to always, like the Bible says, you need to walk and pray. You don't pray and sit and say, God will perform miracle. No, God does not work that way. But though, good morning. Feels good to be back on set, and it promises to be another exciting time on TV. Yesterday, it was indeed a swell time. And let me also use this opportunity. I wasn't on set yesterday to say big kudos and congratulations to every girl child out there. Last weekend, Saturday precisely, was celebration of the Girl Child Day, and I'm using this medium to say big kudos to you. You are what you should be. That's if you stay intentional and be strategic in what you do. So good morning.
Good morning, Stanley. That was wonderful. Akin Fatunke, I think you have the football match
Wrapped
all over your head, all over your body. As a matter of fact, what's going on in your head?
What's going on in my head is history and experience. And a word is more than enough for the wise. Depending on your age grade, those who are listening to us that are above some age grade will relate very closely to the fact that we have gone and tread this path that my young friend here has spoken about. Of course, you know the Nigerian situation. You don't plant and then you want to reap. You don't do
Fire brigade approach.
and then you believe that things, and the Nigerian spirit is such that you don't have anything in there. The vessel, you make the loudest noise. And so I am saying, please, if you are 40 and above, I'd like you to be very careful as you watch Nigeria's match today. Many people have died. My parents, a near CMD in Lut. You can imagine a near CMD in Lut back in the day was watching the Nigerian versus some other countries in make or ma, and in the process, Nigeria eventually lost that match. And when he did that, he was gone, and quite a number of people are gone. So if you do not have the nerve, pray. It could go on either side. I wish Nigeria well, but please don't sit in front of your television set and cause a panic to yourself. May Nigeria see what he said. We missed quite a number of opportunities. I'm not saying the boys have not tried. Okay, I mean, in football, you may not be able to tell. But if this happens, both the coach, the technical crew, husband to wife, wife to husband, father to son, son to father, it's going to be, as usual, a lot of infight. But if we now cross, which is more than 18 line, razor line. Kudos. If we don't make it, let's go back and try over again. But people of my age, below me, I am saying, there is death. I'm sorry, there is death waiting for you, sitting in front of the television and wanting to watch this match later today. Please be very, very careful. Thank you.
Well, we don't want anybody to die, do we? It's so strange because we have a sports segment on the Bumper Breakfast Show. It's so strange to be starting the program with sports, but you see, when it comes, I mean, this is a national issue as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And you know, we need to learn to prepare, because if we don't, then they say you have to plan. You have to. If you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. And I hope somebody is learning a lesson from this. But let's keep our fingers crossed. Like Stanley said, anything can happen. Miracles still do happen. Okay, still the Bumper Breakfast Show. We have guests in the studio, by the way, but we will discuss one or two topics and then we'll have them come on set. National Assembly proposes November 2026 for 2027 general elections. I have that story here. Fortunately, I don't have my glasses, but I'll try to read the story. At least a bit of it. Yeah. Nigeria's next presidential and governorship elections may be held in November 2026, following the proposal by the National Assembly to move the polls 6 months earlier than usual. The draft amendment was unveiled on Monday during a public hearing jointly organized by the Senate and House committees in electoral matters in Abuja. The move contained in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2025 seeks to ensure that all election petitions are concluded before the May 29, 2027 handover date. The draft amendment read, elections into the office of the President and the Governor of the state shall be held not later than 185 days before the expiration of the term of office of the last holder of office. This means the polls would fall on November 2026, roughly 6 months before the end of the current administration's tenure. Chairman of the House of Committee on Electoral Matters, Honorable Adebayo Balogun, explained that the move is designed to ensure that all manner of election litigations are dispersed before the swearing in of winners. He said the National Assembly plans to amend sections 285 and 139 of the 1999 Constitution to shorten timelines for election petitions, reducing tribunal judgments from 180 to 90 days, appellate court decisions from 90 to 60 days, and ensuring that the entire judicial process does not exceed 185 days. Well, that's the meat of the story. We already understand, you know, what's going on and where they are coming from. But Akin Fatunke, it's on the table for you to discuss. You have the floor now.
Thank you very much. You don't stand and or sit and do things same way and sometimes expect different results. So it's welcome that people are thinking in that direction. That they are even thinking in that direction, to me, is good. But it goes beyond the thinking rather than the attitude of the Nigerian politicians towards election. Whilst I do not want to sound, defeatists to the idea, I am persuaded, more than anything anybody can say, that shift that 185 days, to make sure that all litigations are settled, shifted by 2 years. If the Nigerian spirit of Hanobugri, comes into being, it still be the same thing. Make the election to happen tomorrow. Just say, make the elections to happen tomorrow. Those who will not agree, won't agree. Okay, move it to 2028. Remove the incumbent president. Take him off and say, look, let's have an interim. Move it to 2020. the people who will not even allow this in terms of democratic processes for political parties, who should be your president, who should be your governor, litigations here and there. And like I said, before the 2023 elections, I said it clearly, blood was going to flow. Well, there's not been an election that blood will not flow. Blood flowed, and I'm saying 2027 November, or do it as we are. Blood I think going to flow. Why? Because it's more of a do or die, more of an emilocon kind of. Alexander Pope, I think it was, in his classic The Rape of the Lock, for forms of government, for forms of politics, for forms of elections here and there. Let's fools contend. Whatever is best and ministered right from the heart is best. God help us, God help Nigeria. Thank you.
Stanley, do you think this is dead on arrival, or do you think it's a welcome idea?
Well, it's a welcome idea. But
You think a change is always refreshing, but what kind of change?
now that's the thing. I don't have a problem when you decide to effect a change. There are so many things I feel should have been considered before taking this decision. Like you said, whether the election takes place today, it still won't change the fact that those that will not be satisfied with the outcome of the election will still not be satisfied. You approach any court, tribunal, appeal, Supreme Court, it's always he who calls the piper dictates the tune. That's the way it's always been in Nigeria.
Calls the piper?
Yeah.
Or pays?
Pays the, I said that's who pays the piper, I beg your
Okay.
pardon, dictates the tune. Thank you very much.
Because it's about the money.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Now, who appoints the CJA? Who appoints the INEC chairman? Yes, it's constitutional that the president appoints the INEC chairman. No doubt about that. Does that make INEC independent? That's number one. Number two, what other parameters or factors did they consider before bringing the election to hold, for proposing that the election should hold in November? Now, how many number of voters registration has INEC recorded? Who are those that will vote come November? We are just 6 months into the registration, the new registration process. Now, if you go to the database, those in Southwest have really not registered more than people in North, and yet you want to conduct the election. Then where would the figures come from? The number of registered voters, accredited voters would now be, the voters would now be lesser than the accredited voters. So if we must put all of these things in place, fine, like I said, it's a good, a laudable initiative, but did they consider the effect of what this would have on the election? So whether you decide that, okay, 170 days, 185 days, 200 years is when you have as time frame to challenge any election that you feel is not pleasing to you, or you have every time, as long as the court says, or as long as either the court dismisses or upholds the decision of INEC, I don't have any problem with it. But then, like I said, there are other things that the electoral, what's it called now, the House Committee on Election need to consider. Let's not just bring this fire brigade approach. Bringing it back to 2026, what would it change? What change would it have on election? What change would it have in governance? So you don't play this is kind of politics for me. Bringing it, okay, so that all the whole parties that are trying to put their heads together would not have a stand as they prepare for the election. For me, it's a brainer and also no brainer.
Stanley, sometimes you're in between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Don't mind me.
You're not taking a stand.
Nah,
what is your stand?
My stand is my stand.
Well, incidentally, he's sitting, and you can't be asking him to stand up. I'm trying to defend you.
Thank you very much.
But there's something Stanley has said. Sorry, and it's not of politics. As at today, as at yesterday, if elections were to be held in Nigeria today, according to the records, Borno State has more registered voters than Lagos. Well, I'm talking about yesterday, I'm talking about today. Before now, you know the constitution that prescribes that you must win 12 to 3rd in states and the largest of votes and all that. Is this not tilting towards an apparent clearance by the people he described as powers that,
that
be.
be.
Unless, of course, there is a wake-up call. In the past 20 years, and I can say this for a fact, wake up call, wake up call, wake up call. We have been trying to wake and we've been pretending we are sleeping.
We are in deep sleep.
Wake up call, wake up call. You call the wake up call, and people will not respond. Then on the day of the elections, some parts of the country have the wherewithal and I don't know, maybe the education to now then say, you know what? Those of you who have not been registered, those of you who have not been registered for election, oh yeah, alele. Well, say the same thing to us in the southeast, in the southwest. We are tending to go away. Is it therefore not whether you put it in November or you put it elsewhere that the result is already glaring, like we say in sports? It's so glaring that, look, when you put and juxtapose every other thing, this is the direction it is going to go. A word is enough for the wise.
Well, I have often said that Nigeria is a stage, Act 1, Scene 1. What will it be tomorrow? Today, it is this. Tomorrow, it will be that. It's unfortunate, but you see, the thing is that if we do not go back to the foundation, there's no way that structure will stand. That's the truth, and that's Nigeria for you. Nigeria, I keep saying on this table, we're rich in human resources, we're rich in mineral resources, we have the intellect, we have the people who understand how these things should be. But does the system really allow these things to work the way it should work? That's a different question. And until we go back to the drawing boards, until we get to do the right things, then we'll keep having problems. Even when there is a welcome idea, even when there is a change, and the change is supposed to be for the better, of course, the people will read it in a different way, because you look at how much preparations have been done, really. I mean, this change, is it really in the interest of the people or in the interest of a particular group? Is it in the interest of a cabal? I mean, is it in the interest of the powers that be, or is it in the interest of the masses? Nigeria has to wake up. We have to realize that we are there as servants. We're there to serve, to lead the people by service. And as long as we don't do that, then there will continue to be a problem. It's still the Bumper Breakfast Show. Let's look at ASU ready to resume talks with federal government. When I read, the papers yesterday, and I realized that the federal government actually called ASU's bluff, and ASU is now ready to talk with the federal government. I don't know what exactly is happening. Education in Nigeria is given very little priority, and for me that's a problem. If the government would owe our lecturers months and years of salary backlog, I think that's quite unfortunate. Aki Fatunke, what is your take on ASU wanting to talk with the federal government after the federal government have called their bluff? Do you think it's going to take away from ASU? Do you think it's going to take away from ASU?
I am enthused by that headline. I'm also enthused by some other counter headlines which gives the impression that ASU has clearly said, I'm going to call the bluff of government. Look, all those ones, like I say, it's a movie that we have seen year on year.
True.
In the past 30, before the advent of nascent democracy that brought in the 1999 Constitution as amended. Let me be clear. I went to, for good reason, let me say that I went to a missionary school in Lagos Baptist Academy, and I went and did my HSC at Federal Government College in Sokoto.
Oh,
from federal.
I think you slightly, you missed it slightly. You went to, you just took a detour.
To no, I went to Baptist Academy
I know. And you went to Federal Government College, Sokoto.
for my HSC. Now,
You should have come to Lagos.
okay, yes, I saw Federal Government College in Janiki, and I asked my younger brother to go in there.
I like that response.
And from there, I went to Ahmadu Bello University. You are right, don't let us faff. And whether we are talking about education, we are talking about health, we are talking about security, we are talking about sports.
Yes,
We
everything.
have SDG goals. There are 17 of them. Those SDG goals have always been showing red on the dash lights, including education. Now, listen to me and listen to me good. I sat in this studio a few years back, and we had the then Vice Chancellor of University of Ife, Great Ife. He was sitting down here. He was sitting down here, Ogmodede. And he made a statement. And that statement was repeated by me when there was ASU and all that. And then the vice president of this federation at that time, Professor Yemi Ochipaju, was there. And I made this statement that some other people have made, including the vice chancellor. We are deceiving ourselves. So. Government cannot, I'm owing you, if we have gone to thief, if we have gone to do something, and we agree that we are going to share it half-half, look, there has to be, I have to give you your due. I won't down there and say, well, we can go out there and go and confess that we've not done the wrong thing. It is also the truth that government, ASU, please listen to me again for the umpteenth time. ASU, government cannot fund education. It's not possible. It has to be private-led. See what happens in Ivy League universities, the Harvards, the Yales of this world. They have a way. Stuff like that, we ran everything to the ground until private capital came in. And the fear is that the price is going to go high. No doubt about that. Competition can also come in. We saw what Dangote has done. Something similar has to happen in education. If we do not... So, one is strike, then we all sit down, just like NLC. We sit down and then we go back. Government will renege. Government has no capacity. People are telling me that we are making more money now. There's no doubt about the fact that we are making more revenues now. But those revenues has to be split between education, between health, between security, as examples. So, Konwa has come, as usual. Konwa is the other splinter group that says we are not going to be part of it. Maybe government sponsored. We are not hearing that for the first time. Let's all sit down as university lecturers. I liked the kind of spirit that I got to say that you are not going to put us in one narrow tunnel vision. This government came on, like them or not like them, and say, okay, look, we are not going to want to go to that area. Let's give you your kind of autonomy. Let's give you 50 billion, which is like a drop of water. There are other ways in my mind that ASU can make their grievance known other than go on strike,
Like,
and then come back.
Akifatuke, like.
Alausa is the Minister for Education. He has come and he has said, well, apart from the 150 billion that has been done, 50 billion for your unpaid allowances. I know the problem is trust, but for a government that has been able to do 200 billion within a space of, call it 2 years, I think you should, I'm not saying give them benefit of doubt, because they may not have their priorities right, no doubt about that, but you know what? Since you are able to do 200 billion in 2 years, my belief is that in the next, let us negotiate that. negotiate it from the perspective of the federal, the state, and the local government. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has no power over states and state universities. But can we call the governors and then can we all agree one way or the other that, look, what can you do? What can you do? By way of negotiation.
Let me just hold you. Let me hold you there. Stanley, are you in agreement with what?
Maybe not 100%.
Okay, but you agree to a large extent.
The previous administration under the late president had an agreement with ASU, and he cleared some backlogs of their outstanding salaries. Fine, good, brilliant. Now, you can't be satisfied. ASU, in my own opinion, and just like every other Nigerian, Oliver Twist, we want more. Now, I must say, and I dare to say that I don't think even the administration before Buhari dealt with the issue of ASU like former President Muhammadu Buhari did. Towards its tail end of his tenure in office. Now, these schools generate money. Let's even start from there. I think at this point, like you said, let there be autonomy. You get XYZ, you make XYZ. Use this to sort yourselves out. Federal universities should sort themselves out. And now, polytechnics make money. They collect tuition fees. State universities do same. Federal universities do same. And I think it's just about sitting on a round table. How? Because, like you said, truly, government cannot fund education. There are other important things, but then
that statement
no, okay,
I don't agree with.
Hold on, this is it.
No, that statement.
This is it.
I don't.
There
are other important.
Yes,
what are the
security?
What are the important things?
We also have the health sector.
Why do we have insecurity? Because some of these people are not educated. Education.
I
disagree with you, Stanley.
You will decide now. Listen.
Okay, but I will let you.
Now
this is it. Your view.
As much as education is important.
Yes. It's very important.
There's no sector that's not important because you need to be secured for you to go through the 4 walls of the school.
Is not important.
That's why I said
so you don't
we have
say
other important. I said we have other important. No, I would not sweep education to the background.
Okay.
What I'm saying is there are other important issues that need to be dealt with. We've spent over 28 billion in combating insecurity, and yet we've still not gotten to the end of it. So if Mr. President says, I am giving you 150 billion to sort yourselves out, I don't think that would solve it. Because you calculate, just put a figure to the number of state universities we have in this country. Let's even talk about polytechnics or colleges of education. So I think there are other things that need to be addressed. First, call ASU together. Now, ASU are not even saying anything now. What if they decide to join the strike? Are you saying they're also not being treated fairly in their own opinion? So it all boils down to how you feel the brunt. So if ASU are saying we are not going to go back to class because XYZ have not been sorted out, now Mr. President, led by what's his name now, Alausa, need to call all these guys. You don't need to call their bluff because if you do,
who doesn't need to call whose bluff?
The federal government
doesn't need to call
the bluff of ASU because at the end of the day, the children, the students at these various universities will be the one to suffer. Once they don't go to class, trust me, they would lack so many things. And the moment they take the education takes back since 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it becomes a problem. We are looking for ways and measures to put an end to societal menace, societal violence, and yet ASU are coming with their own. Federal government are also making matters reasonable. So both parties need to form, at least sit down on the round table, sheath their sword, dialogue, and get to a resolution that at the end of the day, it's going to be a win-win solution for both the students, ASU, and the federal government. It's as simple as that.
No, it's not as simple as that. I don't agree.
You think so?
I don't agree it's as simple as that. For the simple reason that we already know what to do. Stanley, there's nothing we're saying on this table that is new, that's entirely new. We know what to do, but we are just not doing it. And as long as we don't do the right thing, I mean, this is the kind of result that we will get. If Akin Fatuke can sit down this table and profess solutions, you can sit down and profess solutions. This thing is not for only you. This intellectual right or property doesn't belong to only you.
True.
Do you understand? People are there on a per second basis coming up with all sorts of things. But you see, again, with due apologies, Mr. President, I think that There's so much that needs to be done. And I agree, the president can't do everything. But he needs to ensure that the people that he has put in place to do these things are actually doing them. Because otherwise, we're still, next year, next dispensation, we're going to be talking about this again. Like Akin Fatuke rightly said, this is not new. Yeah. But how do we get a lasting solution is what we should be looking at. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has the opportunity to write his name in the sand of time. If he's able to ensure that a solution, a permanent solution is reached, whether they're going to be doing public-private participation, whether they're going, whatever it is, something needs to be done, something permanent. And I have an idea, you know, because my relationship with my secondary school and my other schools has given me an idea that government does not, I mean, even when it is a government school, they don't totally fund. Mm-hmm. They can't, they don't have the capacity, the ability, they can't. Therefore, you have the private sector coming, you have the PTA, you have the Old Students Association, you have stakeholders. Without them, the school would not be able to stand. And this is not what it used to be back in the day, unfortunately. What were they doing right? Have you sat down to look at what they possibly were doing right back in the day and try to adopt and modify? Do you understand what I'm saying? These are the things that we need to look at. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Even, it's not enough to have a roundtable conference. But what needs to happen at the roundtable conference is the fact that everything must be put on that table. You understand? If they're going to quarrel, if they're going to fight, if they're going to disagree, that's okay. That's very okay. But they need to come to a resolution. They need to have it's not just come to a resolution. There needs to be a solution. There needs to be a permanent solution. And you know, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die.
Exactly.
Now,
I have just 1 minute. So
okay.
Whatever you want to say,
say
in 1 minute.
First, second is the fact that go to University of Lagos. We had a model when the late Professor Jelil Omotola had a vision, mission, and value statement for the school. They went into entrepreneurship and they were making money. Forget about what subvention was coming from government. The same as I said, no, can't be for every other thing. That initiative was killed. Because it's not just for the lecturers now. We're even talking about infrastructures. It is not even possible that all the monies that Nigeria is making, including all the monies Nigeria is going to borrow, can do. So, like I said, you know, everybody wants to go to heaven, nobody wants to die. The truth of the matter is, government is not capable. Go and bring an angel to come and rule Nigeria. Okay. It's not capable of funding university education. First truth that we must all bear. I know education should also be such that the poorest of the poor should bear. Okay, so it's a model that whereby those who can give scholarship, poorest of the poor can benefit from. Go to Yale, go to Harvard. It's there. It's there. Okay. We know how to do it.
There. We need to get the model. That's the bottom line. We need to get it right.
The lecturers have the model.
We need to get.
But some of them are saying they don't want to do this kind of thing.
That's really the much we can take on this segment of the Bumper Breakfast Show. We need to round up. We will be taking a break, but when we return, we'll be having guests on the program, and thereafter we'll look at the newspaper. So I urge you to please stay tuned. It's MIT Breakfast Show.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer. Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Progress na small small wind wey dey carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
You're welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast Show. Like I said, we're going to be having guests on the program. I'm sure for those who have been watching this program week in, week out, you realize that this is the third week running where we've been having members of the Federal Government College Lagos Old Students Association. And again, we have them, because we are celebrating our 50th year of existence, and I am, like I always say, so proud to be associated with this school in one way or the other. So yes, we have very special guests on the program, two very passionate people. I would really love to refer to them as young men, young old men. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Taye Shongoyomi. He is of the very first set, the 1980 set of Federal Government College Lagos. He's come in from the United States of America to celebrate this landmark occasion with us in Nigeria. And permit me to, give you a little bit of information about him. He's one of those who started the Federal Government College Lagos Old Students Association in the United States of America. He was a president at some time. Were you the first president or something? Well, anyway, he'll be telling us about that. He's here, right here. It's nice to have you on the program. Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we have someone who's very special as well, from the first set as well. I don't know how this happened. They just paired themselves and decided to just come, It's a delight to introduce to you Mr. Richard Oluwole Johnson, ROJ. It's nice to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
and yes, of course, Stanley is here with me. So that
I'm
when
retaining
they,
my shirt.
if they try to shake me a bit, I have somebody to lean on.
You cannot be caught off guard. I'm always behind you.
All right, so let's go very quickly into it. You came from the United States of America. We're so delighted to have you here. Your passion for the school is so great. And of course, let me seize this opportunity to thank you publicly. But tell us a little bit, what's been going on, back there in the United States, in the alumni branch there?
Oh, thank you, Tom, for inviting me to this show. It's a real pleasure to be here this morning in the United States of America. Yeah, the Alumni Association in the US started about 16, 17 years ago. A small group of us got together and said, we should reconnect with each other, network, and see how we can help the school that gave us so much. Whereby I've been the past president, and I've been instrumental in taking it to where we are today. We, the U.S. Alumni Association, have done many projects at the school over the years. And our current project now that we're working on is to light up the whole school. So we'll be installing street lights, using solar throughout the whole school in 2 phases. And by the end of the year, the students as well as the staff will start seeing a difference in terms of how darkness will be turned into light.
Okay, we also have, like I said, we have Mr. Richard Oluwole Johnson, and he's here as well from the same United States alumni branch. Now, your passion again for this association must be so great. You know how much tickets cost, Stanley? Do you know how much tickets cost? Ha! To get into the plane to come for this kind of celebration.
To and
means
fro, you're looking at over $2,000 US.
That's true.
Omo.
That's true.
You know,
Over
it's not
$2,000
easy.
US.
It's not easy. Okay, so what is it that the association is doing?
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate this opportunity, and greetings to everybody out there. And also to let people know that the North America group really was started by just a few of us about 15, 16 years ago. And we've been very passionate in trying to do so much to help the school out. And on behalf of all of our members in the US, all the other alumni that we have in the US, we want to say that our passion is just to eventually do something that will help the school grow. And this particular commissioning of the solar lights is one of our greatest passion. We've done other projects in the past. We've done the medical clinic where we've supplied medical supplies to this clinic. And we've renovated the basketball court.
I'm sure Stanley will be interested in that.
Yes,
It's one of a
we've
kind.
done quite a few things. So with former President here, I guess you do more in terms of explaining some of how this process will take place. And I'm very excited to be here, and looking forward to, I guess, enjoy this moment while we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you have planned? Well, the entire association, the global body, has planned, for the 50th anniversary celebrations, and what have you done so far?
Yeah, for the 50th anniversary celebration, of course, the school was started in 1975. We were the first set that came in, and we graduated in 1980, and we're celebrating our 50th year right now. We have a series of activities planned over the whole week, starting from last Friday, going up to this coming Saturday. Last Friday, we're all at the school, where we had a panel discussion with the students, and then we had a bonfire. It was lots of fun overnight, lots of music and things to eat too. And then on Saturday morning, we had a novelty soccer match between the old students and the current students. And I will have to say that the old students, it was a very respectable score, 2-0.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you could guess who won, right? But it was very respectable.
Who they allowed to win?
No, it's the younger ones that won.
Okay.
Of course, the younger
The
ones
students
won.
Oh, okay.
But-
That's the reason why I said respectable.
But there were some people that were predicting that they were going to lose by the number of characters in all students. So that was why I said it was very respectable.
Yes.
Only 2-0. But it was lots of fun. That was the whole purpose of it, right? Yes. And then afterwards, we went to the dining hall, had breakfast, and then lunch, like you said. And afterwards, we unveiled the statue at the school. When you come into the school, there's a statue of a young man and a young lady having a book in front of them, and the motto of the school, the builders. And so that was unveiled. And then shortly afterwards, we went to visit the Oba of Ijaniki, and we had a great time there because he's been very wonderful to the school over the years. And in addition, the old students also did something for the town of Ijaniki. The old students came together, spoke with the town, with the Oba and the town, said, what is it that we can do? And there were a series of things that were discussed. At the end of the day, we installed solar panels in the town of Ijaniki, and they are so very grateful for that. And so that was the activities for Saturday. And then the next couple of days, too, we have a couple of things coming on. We're going to have Thanksgiving tomorrow. Yes. I may add that we started with prayers, too. On Friday, we had the Juma service,
Yes.
right? So we had a Muslim one on Friday. We're having a Christian one tomorrow, right? And on Friday, we're having like a cultural day. We call it
Ojude FGCL.
where we relive all the traditions and culture of the school. And the grand finale is on Saturday, where we're going to have the dinner. So it's been wonderful. I would really like to encourage all the old students that are watching this show right now, all over Nigeria, right? Come and join us and let us celebrate the school.
All right. Okay, Stanley, I forgot you were here because you've just been looking at me.
No,
Okay, so go on and ask your questions.
No, I've seen the excitement of being an old student of Federal Government College Janiki, but it's good. You are all covered with smile. Well, I understand too. But two questions, maybe three. You are both president and members of the association in America, and I'm sure you have your old student cuts across different parts of the country and across different parts of the world. So what are you doing to bring them all on board to be part of this? That's not just this now, subsequent edition from giving back to the school. That's number one. Number two, you said you had a panel discussion, and I'm sure some issues were raised. Some some issues were raised. So what plans do you have to treat and tackle some of those issues that were raised? Now, on the final note, 50 years, half a century, it's no Mitv. Glad that God has kept you and will still keep you, because it's not easy when you celebrate 50 years of your school and you ask yourself, how would I make myself? You'll be like, I'm myself, I don't old. but it is what it is. Now, 50 years down the line, aside from the 50th year celebration, are there plans to still continue to impact the lives like you've always done? Because this is like more like a bigger version of what you do every year. So is it going to stop there, or are you still going to still spreading the gospel of giving back to the school and, like you said, the society of Ijaniki?
Okay, so can we answer
I
some of the questions and then he answers the rest?
I was going to address the question you brought about North America. As I said, we started this 16 years ago, and it was the original 1980 set that started the Alumni Association in North America. And we have seen things grow, because every 2 years we usually have a reunion in North America where we all come together. And besides, coming together, we try to, contribute money towards trying to do projects, each project for each year for the school. So I have been the financial secretary since the initial stages of when we started the association. So I feel that what we are doing right now, or what we've done in the past, is handing over to the next set, because the people who are running the North America group right now are the 1982 and 83 sets. Okay. So the idea is just for us to continue that process and keep it running. And so far, I have seen a great enthusiasm from other parts of North America, even Canada, because right now we're having a reunion coming up in Canada in a few months. So we're looking forward to trying to grow the North America Association, so we can eventually try to make sure that we're all giving back to the school. Okay. So I'll let Tari address.
Your president, Modupe, I think she's from the 1985.
85
yes.
Those are the ones that are running the organization right now. Yes.
Okay, since you came into the country, Government College Ijaniki, Federal Government College, thank you very much. Ijaniki then, 1980, 2025. So many things have changed. So how would you describe the level of education since you came into the country and since going back to the school rather?
Well, there is something unique about our set, in the sense that we started in 75 and we left the school in 1980. Throughout the period that we were there, we're always on temporary sites. Yeah. So we're never at the permanent site at Ijaniki. Oh, okay. That's one of the rich histories of our school. They used to call us then the school on wheels, because there was a time we had our hostels at Igbobi, and we're going to school. Our classes was at Ojo, where Lasus currently sits right now. Then it was called Government College Ojo. So we've had that rich history, right? But when you look over the years, our very first set, we had one of the best, if not the best, record at the WAEC level. So the school over the years have been able to, even though we're moving around a lot, but the level of impact that was given to us from our teachers, from how the school was run. We had about the best WAEC students in the country, right? Like I, for example, had the best student in the whole of Lagos State. You know, so the best student from Lagos State and WAEC came from that school.
Wow.
Right? And so that standard has been maintained for the last 45 years. Every year, the school always has the best. So Federal Government College, Ijaniki, is one of the top schools in the country when you look at in terms of everything.
Yeah.
In terms of the level of education, in terms of the money that you pay, the value you get from it, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the networking you get by the time you leave the school, you know, we've always been one of the best in the country. So we as students are very proud of that, right? That the school has given us so much, and that's where our passion comes from. We want to return to the school, and we've been organizing ourselves. Like he said, you know, the North American chapter, we've been really very active, and when we say North America, consists of the United States and Canada, right? And it's not only from North America. We have alumni in the UK too that is very active, right? And of course, alumni body in Nigeria, which is also very active, not only in Lagos, but all over the country, Abuja, as well as in other states of the country, right? So we've always been able to come together, you know, and what happens in any voluntary organization happens with us too, you know. There are disagreements, there are different views on how to do things, but at the end of the day, we all sit down, have a good discussion, and resolve all our issues, right? Are able to move forward. And so with that, you know, when you look at what we've been able to do at the school and achieve over the years, I would say we're probably one of the best alumni, all students associations in the country.
I would actually like to add to what he said, and honestly, you know, I'm saying this with all sincerity of purpose. I think Nigeria needs to come and learn from us. We do things, like he said, there are disagreements, you know, but we always come back to, you know, agree, because we keep our eyes on the common goal, you know, the progress, the success of the association and all of that. And then, you know, things start to work one way or the other. You will find one person who will disagree, but you'll find people who will say, we must get it done. So, I mean, they should use us as, what do you call it?
The model.
The model.
So you've always had more,
Yes.
because it all boils down to how well you put your differences aside and ensure that the major goal should be your focus.
Yes. And like you said, the North American chapter, they're doing really great. The Europe chapter doing really great. The Nigerian chapter, global, everybody is doing well, you know, for the school. And all the principals, principal after principal, attests to what I'm saying, you know.
After service to God, the next service to humanity. It is what it is.
All right, you have anything you want to add again, because we're about to round up?
Yeah.
I guess you can talk about
right.
the solar panel.
Yeah,
I think that's a big project we have coming up.
Yeah, I would like to say a little bit more about the Light FGCL, which is what the North American chapter is trying to do at the school.
And which is ideally what the government is supposed to have done. And, you know,
so you want to drag me to that conversation.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Well, I will be very brief about this, but over the years, we've done several projects at the school. We've built basketball courts, we've renovated classrooms, the clinic, we supplied medical supplies to the clinic, but then in the last 1 or 2 years, we said, what can we do that is going to be really very impactful at the school? So what can we do that is going to be really very impactful at the school? So we had discussions with the principal, with the staff, even with the students. And something that came up all the time was, wouldn't it be good to have street lights all over the school so that there is no darkness at all? Everything is light. And so we said, our next project is going to be light up FG seal. Basically, what we're going to be doing is installing street lights that will be using solar all over the school, include to cover the whole school as well as the staff quarters as well. To be in 2 phases. The first phase will cover all the dormitories and the admin block.
Wow,
Right.
that's massive.
And work has already started on it. We've done the foundations for most of the street lights. The poles have been purchased on site.
They're on site. Yeah, I actually saw them.
Right.
Yes.
Currently, the contractor is trying to import all the solar panels and everything. Once we get them in here, then they are going to be installed. And we should be looking at, before the end of the year, everything should be up and running.
Wow.
And so the final thing I would like to say is that students, all students that haven't yet joined the alumni, wherever you may be living in America, in Canada, in the UK, anywhere in Europe, in Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, stand up, show yourself. There is a lot to be gained from belonging to the Alumni Association. Number one, you'll be able to network with your friends and mates. And networking in a country like Nigeria is extremely important.
Yes,
So,
extremely important.
extremely important, right? There's virtually nothing you can do without knowing people.
Yes.
So that's number one, it's very important. Secondly, you'll be able to give back to the school in whatever capability that you have, right? And when I say give back, it's not only in terms of money. People, when they think give back, people think money. I don't have money, but you might have the time.
Yes, you have the talent.
Or you might have some skill sets.
Just dedicate something.
Something.
Right.
Give back. Give something.
There are some
back.
people that are very good in programming, in computers. They could build their websites. They'll give their time. There are some people that could give time in terms of doing things, arranging things, activities, right? And if it's money too, you can give back in money. So don't feel that you don't have the money, then you should step back. No, that's not the case, because there are so many other things you can give back to the school. So we should all step. I'm reaching out to, through this medium, reaching out to all alumni all over the world in Nigeria. Please join us so that we can do something more impactful at the school. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you.
Well, what you just said, I think, not only applies to our school. You can give back. I mean, let's even inculcate that. Let's imbibe it in ourselves. That life is not all about taking, receiving.
Absolutely.
You understand? You must learn to give back. And like he said, it doesn't have to be about money all the time. You can give your time. You can give in so many ways. We should have that at the back of our mind. And I tell you, if we can do that, the world will be a better place. So thank you so much, Dr. Taye Shogoyomi and Mr. Richard Oluwole Johnson, members of the class set of 1980, the first class set of Federal Government College Lagos. Thank you for being on this show, and we wish you fun as you stay in Lagos, and Johnny Mercy is on your way back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, we'll take yet another break, and when we return, we'll be looking at the newspapers. Please stay tuned.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money points, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as sure banker. Progress na small wind wey dey carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course na, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your problem.
To the greatest show on Stay connected. Stay with us, starting from Yanga and Jolly.
Welcome back. It's still the Bumper Breakfast Show. It's time for us to take a peep into the newspapers and what they have to say. I'll be starting with the Punch newspaper. 2027, opposition splits over National Assembly poll and shift plan. The rider is National Assembly Bill 6 to move presidential governor polls to November 2026. PDP NNPP tension plots. ADC LP differ. Retired AIG leads probe into killings by Oshun Amotekun. Slain husband's family slams Tinubu's pardon for Miriam Sanda. Borno maintains lead as 7.4 million complete online voter registration. Lagos rearranges kidnap Kingpin Evans over 2-cop murder. Evans, Stanley, can you remember Evans?
Yeah, the billionaire kidnapper.
Yeah.
They said it was a good conduct in prison, and he was pardoned. That he was pardoned does not mean other cases would not emerge. So it's an unending drama.
So Evans. Okay, let's just go on.
He has not turned a new leaf, according to what he told us now.
He has turned a new leaf, and now he's being arraigned.
Of course.
Akin Fatuke, can you remember him?
Very well.
This country.
What's going on in Nigeria?
You've always said it's what?
And you're talking about insecurity. I said it. I said, look, if we don't do what we need to do, we won't get the results we expect to get by not doing what we're supposed to do.
Well, of all the cases he's been charged with, there were not too many cases of a murder. It was abduction, kidnapping, abduction, kidnapping. So, it is what it is. You see, how the interpretation of our laws sometimes can be funny. The interpretation of our laws can sometimes be funny. But please, let's leave this Evans case, because I don't even want to go.
I think we should leave it, but I think we should ask ourselves critical questions. The amnesty, clemency, the power of the president. Yes, let's go ahead and say it was not amongst the best that we have seen. We see it across the oceans too, and that it's done somewhere else does not mean that we should do it here. But I want to ask you, and I want to ask Nigerians, I don't expect you to answer questions. What exactly do we want? Take two examples. The name that you have just mentioned, he ought to have been hung many years ago.
I thought I missed something.
Take the example of Miriam Sanda. She ought to have been hung year 2000. So many of them were staying there, and we same Nigerians. I know it's easy for us to say the governor did not sign the death warrant, the president did not sign it. It's also very easy to point fingers. Are we ready to say, if the court sanctions and says you should be killed, let's go the Abacha way? That's what Abacha did to Ken Saro-Wiwa.
And that's the difference between the
November.
That's the difference between military
11,
and democracy.
Year 2005.
It was a black difference.
And he killed them. Take the other example of Babangida. Babangida made sure that all those that were convicted at that time, including Vatsa, were killed. Go back to 1976. A lieutenant colonel in the Navy was shouted to the world, for those who were alive at that time, I am innocent. I am innocent. He was shot. Only for us to find out later on that it was done by a disagreement between him and a mistress. Do we say to ourselves that we should have the capital punishment? And if the capital punishment is, say, on any governor that wants to be governor of any state, any person that wants to be president of any state should be asked directly, what are you going to do about all the inmates? Then that's why you are now going to see Nigerians begin to dance a lot of palongo. We have not been very serious, and I'm not saying that I'm going to give a pass mark to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for collating and putting all those things together, but I tell you, we are a people that are so pretentious. We smile in the day, pretend we are crying, and then we cry in the night when actually we are smiling. It's a moral conscience that we all should get to. It goes beyond Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It goes beyond Atiku, as an example. Nor does it go beyond Peter Obi. We all must come together and say, what exactly do we want in this country? And if you are not capable of doing what you need to be done as a president, as a governor, then you're not going to be there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akin Fatuke. And finally, from the Punch newspaper, Fubara swears in SSG, cautions against power abuse. That's it from the Punch newspaper. Let's look at the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, the banner story here says NAS proposes November 2026 for 2027 presidential governorship polls. The writer here says once all election cases concluded before swearing in may make use of PVCs not mandatory. Criminalizes non-stamping of ballot papers, results sheets. Stakeholders back electronic transmission of results. We are going back to what Mahmoud Jakub told us some time ago. Above the nameplate, Reps PDP caucus raises alarm over plot to truncate national convention. 6 National Judicial Commission's intervention, defection not particular to PDP. This is coming from Governor Sheyi Makinde. Another story is here, governors, traditional rulers push for constitutional recognition of traditional institutions. Federal government raises alarm over terror financing, smuggling. Security agencies crack down on terror groups. I cannot talk. Federal government, this is funny. Federal government raising alarm. Okay.
Federal government raising alarm against
over terror financing. As if they don't know.
As if
Please let me FG directs VCs to implement no work, no pay.
Stanley, just hang on 1 second. I think we should look at that. I really think we should look at that. Look,
it's in this country someone told us, the governor of Zamfara, Dauda Lawal, who still has the 78 million naira from Desiani Alisi Madweke in his custody while he was the MD of while he was working in the bank. The man came out and said within 2 months he will clear bandits in the north. He will put an end to banditry, abduction, and kidnapping. The previous administration told us of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari, Abubakar Mallam, bandits. It's in the same country that Mr. President flew all the way from Abuja to Katsina for a wedding ceremony, and he met with Gumi. They were laughing, hugging, and exchanging pleasantries. So it's in the same country that one governor told us that at a point in time that at a time he would mention the list, names of sponsors in this country.
And the following day,
when that day came,
it was a different story.
As a result of 1 or 2 issues, we cannot do this and this. Mr. Governor, sir, and he's still the current governor of that state. I don't know if they still have hope in that governor.
Stanley, sometimes when I tell you that Nigeria is a joke.
Did Alake told us that
there's a cabal, that there's a strong cabal.
So what are we talking about?
When we are disunited, that we are all looking to the front when a lot of us are still looking at the back. Those realities must stare us in the face and say this contraption is not working. We must get back to the drawing boards, to your tent, O Israel, and decide what we are going to bring in the center. God help Nigeria.
Okay, moving on. Federal government directs VCs to implement no work, no pay policy. More varsities to join strike. We are not part of ASUS, says Conwa. Transcorp Power posts 91.2 billion naira profit after tax with 38% revenue growth. And finally, how Trump brokered historic Israel-Palestine pact to end Gaza conflict. So over to you too.
No, I think we should just take the nation.
Okay, head straight to the nation. The banner headline says Mba opens another gale of governor's defection to APC. Shetima, it's Qatar backs First Lady's plan for out-of-school children. Tinubu's reform courageous. Ex-SJF Oba Olufalaye declares. President pays tribute as Reverend Umar Opayi dies at 80. IMF seeks autonomous central bank in stronger global system. And federal government directs VCs to enforce no work, no pay rules. I read that on the front page of things. We are not part of it. And finally, FCCPC to enforce CBN rule for banks to refund failed ATM transactions in 48 hours. 48 hours.
48 hours.
Okay. I just hope this is the light of the day. I won't say more than that. Over to you, please.
Okay, let's take a look at the lucky stories that made it into the Guardian newspaper this morning. 72.64% of Nigeria's petrol imported amid rivalry from new refineries. You can find that story on page 6. National Assembly proposes November 2025 for next general election. Dangote warns against using monopoly claims to discourage local investment. Defections. Makinde insists Nigerians' ultimate verdict. Labour wades into federal government and ASU's rift as strike grounds varsities nationwide. Federal government's multi-billion naira FCT homes projects excites judiciary. That's the final story from the Guardian newspaper this morning. So that's where we draw the curtains on the
program this morning.
On the newspapers this morning. But for me, you know, one very important story is the defections. Makinde insists Nigerians hold ultimate verdict.
Which of the Nigerians? The ones who are yet to register? The ones who in his own region have not also registered for the proposed election that may likely happen in November 2026? Or the Nigerians that will still go to the streets to play football when the election? You understand?
Or so, those who will be at work like
so
us.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about? No, we are part of the exceptional people. You understand? The doctors,
essential
services, the doctors, the broadcasters will definitely be at the various places of work. But then those that are supposed to determine who their next leader should be will be on the streets. Some will be at the beer parlor drinking, and yet you want that change. They're not ready. So the governor, well, yes, Nigerians will still determine. But
I think it's a two-way traffic. Fatuke, what do you think? Some people believe that no matter what they do, who is going to win is going to win. What do you think?
What I think is common sense and not emotions. I know Nigeria had a president. His name is a swamp song in the ears and the mouths of all Nigerians living in Nigeria and living abroad. His name is Goodluck Ebele Nnamdi Jonathan. He was quoted to have said, "There is no point trying to wake up a man, or a woman for that matter, who is pretending to be asleep." My dear friend and brother, I have a lot of respect for him, Makinde, like me, perhaps. When we eventually decide that we're not going to pretend anymore and be awake, then you know that the horse has since bolted from the stable. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I don't know how God does his things, though. You know, I don't know who he chooses to bless. But I really know that if we really and truly believe in God, then let's do the things of God. Whether we're Muslims, whether we're Christians, there are set rules, there are set rules. We know these things to do, but if we don't do them, I don't know how God will bless Nigeria. It's asking for the extraordinary. Yes, I know that God is extraordinary, but do we want to take it for granted? I think we should start with us. We need to do the right things, and then we can now confidently ask for God's blessings. We'll say our goodbyes now. Stanley, let's hear from you.
Well, so not much. Thank you so very much for joining us today. We'll do this again tomorrow, 8 10 a.m. Stanley Polycow saying, keep being that good Nigerian out there. Keep representing. God bless you.
May the better team win today's tournament at Uyo.
I deliberately ignored that part.
And
I intentionally did.
Like I have said, I wish Nigeria the very best. But if the best that we can get now is a loss, so that we can learn, so be it. And if it's a win, congratulations to Nigeria in advance. Thank you.
Well, whatever the case, I will always, I'm a loyalist to the core, so I will stand behind Nigeria. And I hope that after today's match, we will learn our lessons, whether we win or lose, that we will continue to do what we need to do, what we should do. My name is Tom Adirele. It's been a great pleasure being on the program. I hope to see you again on Thursday morning. I'll be here. So join me on the Bumper Breakfast Show then. For now, have yourselves a wonderful time. God bless you and thank you for watching the show.
Thank you.